Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel, StrangeNet here. So today we're going to be taking a little look at a whole range of things, but first of all we're going to start with the daily login rewards. Now, as you can see here, I've got a whole list. I've got 98 items ready to redeem, and the vast majority I generally won't bother with. Skins and stuff don't really appeal, I don't need them, and they expire anyway. Sometimes the boosters can be relatively handy depending what I'm doing, but the fact that I need to dock in order to use them generally means that when I actually need them I haven't got them. But we do have a search function, and this is incredibly handy because I can now search for whatever it is that I want, and generally that is the skills. Skill points to redeem. So as you can see here, I've got quite a lot that have been stacking up, and to go through all 98 items on lots of different characters can be a bit of a pain. So having this where I can just clickety click and oops, where are we? Come on, let's try again. There we go. And just redeem straight off is fantastically handy. So a nice little feature that's added, that basically a bit of a cure quality of life there, just to make things a little easier. So for login rewards at the moment, we've got 4 days worth, up to 10,000 skill points if you are Omega, some general boosters and some different style boosters. I've not seen one of these before, I don't know where I have been, but 6% armor resistance. By the looks of it, these have been out for quite a while, but for some unknown reason I've not seen them before, but it's quite nice booster resistance that, and they do last for 2 hours, so 4 hours with max skills. So as I'm sure you're aware, we've got some Black Friday deals going on. We've got 25% off PLEX, which is quite nice if you're looking to buy PLEX. And we also have things I'm interested in, which is the skins for the Kikimora and the drekavac. And that is if you get Omega or an MCT. So for 500 PLEX, you get your 1 month of Omega time, and you get the drekavac skin. I quite like this skin, so this is definitely what I'm going to be acquiring. They are selling currently for buy orders for 100 and to sell orders for 164, so you can recoup some of the cost there. And we also have the Kikimoras. This is with the MCT, again pretty nice. I'm going to get myself one of them as well. And so this is where it starts to get a little bit more interesting, because PLEX has had a wonderful spike here. As we can see, it's the highest since September. If we go back, it's not the highest that it's been, obviously, but it is having a good spike. Now, at the moment, the price of PLEX is pretty high anyway, so this will help it drop back. And we can see here it's having a bit of a pullback, and that is because of the sheer amount of PLEX that is being sold. So if you are looking to buy PLEX, now is a pretty good time to be doing it. And I think I'm going to get in on the action, because I would like some PLEX, because as I said, I intend to purchase some of the MCTs and some Omega time, and I also am hopeful. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. I should have put it up a bit. What was I thinking? Yeah, I'm also hopeful that it is going to rise a little bit more, so having a little bit of ISK in PLEX isn't going to hurt. And if the price does drop substantially, then I've always got it, and I can do other stuff with it. I can train characters, etc. You just have to choose whether the price at the time is what you're willing to hold, and if it goes down, you get lumped with the bag. But the nice thing about PLEX is you can usually do something with it, so even if it drops, it's not the end of the world. So the PLEX order is filling up pretty quick, which is quite nice. I'm half gone. Now, I have been experimenting with a few bits. I've not got back into industry properly. We've been having some building works in the house, and it's making recording pretty awkward doing this one late at night, which I don't like doing. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm a little bit and that's because I'm tired, to be perfectly honest with you, but I thought we'd get this one out. So I have been doing some of the entropic disintegrators here, and you can see here I put 5 on the market. I had 5 BPCs, and now I included the price of the BPC and the material cost, built them, and made, I think it was 15 million ISK profit per unit. So nothing substantial, but you can see the first one there sold at 11 o'clock, and the last one at 6 minutes past 12. So they sold pretty swift, basically in an hour and 6 minutes, which made me quite happy. And again, it's just being aware of all these little things. There's always areas that you can make ISK, and sometimes it's a lot of ISK and sometimes it's not as much ISK. Now obviously that sounds really obvious, but if you've got a lot of ISK, is making 100 mil really worth your time and effort. Now, if you've only got 100 mil, then making 100 mil is, you know, a huge amount. You're doubling your ISK. And I think I've covered this before, but it makes it awkward when looking for opportunities, because there's loads of opportunities out there. And again, this is just a small snippet. And again, a decent amount of ISK can be made depending on how much ISK you already have. So if you're a fledgling builder, etc., there's great profits there to be made if you don't have huge amounts of this. Now, obviously, yeah, it's a 50 plus the rest of it to build it, but yeah, again, decent profits. What was it? I think it cost 65 million to make, and it was selling for 81 mil, so 15 mil profit per unit, times 5 there. And again, it's not to say that, again, if you rush out and buy these now and do them, that you're going to make the same profit and it's going to sell quite as quick. But again, it was just I've never built them before, I've never sold them before, and again, I often do this before I jump into something. I'll test the waters, I'll build 1 or 2, I'll see how quickly they sell. If them 2 sell relatively quickly, I'll buy another 2 or 4, I'll increase the amount that I've got and go again. And I'll test the market, see if it was a one-off or whether I got lucky, or just, you know, X guy came along and just decided to buy them all at once. Because again, if you get a large order all of a sudden, that's not necessarily how the market is going to act. It might be that you just dropped it at the time when you got incredibly lucky. So I like to test the market like that, just to see how quickly things will sell. And again, sometimes you'll build these. I haven't built any more yet. They sold pretty quick. Should I have built some more? Possibly. But again, it's like, well, is it worth it? And for me, the answer is kind of in the middle. As I said, I'm not doing a huge amount of industry at the moment, and I am trying to get back into it, but I am finding it a little hard to rev back up, to be perfectly honest. And I have these ebbs and flows. Some days, you know, some days I'm on it and some days I'm not. And at the moment, I'm just not feeling it. There's a lot of change going on, and again, without diving deep into the numbers and really crunching things, I don't know how things are going to turn out. I keep hearing that, you know, the sky's falling with these mining changes, and then I hear elsewhere that people are going to be mining more and that it's good all round. So I've not looked into it, I've not done any research, it's just what I've heard. So at the moment, I'm quite happy just to sit on the sidelines and just wait to see what happens. And obviously, if you are a fledgling builder, it can be a little frustrating, but again, you know, with change comes opportunity, and we can see, I think it was with the Hulk. And again, I don't know whether it's profitable right now to build a Hulk, but we had a huge spike in Hulks, obviously, as the patch notes hit. So let's just have a little look, see if the Hulk is profitable at the moment. I should imagine, I'd like to say not. It's not been profitable to build a Hulk just by buying the stuff for a good while now, and I don't imagine it is at the moment, but it'll be a nice little check. And build it in perimeter. Go on, you can do it. There we go. Production. So 23 million installation cost. And we are looking at 245. So no, we're actually going to lose ISK by making them, and that isn't even including the invention cost of the BPC. So interesting question there. Is anything overly expensive? The RAM doesn't really count because it's such a small amount. And again, this comes back to things I've covered in the past, but it doesn't hurt to relook at it. And here we can see that the RAM is 37% more expensive than it should be. So, you know, you're paying 37% more, but 37% on 10,000 ISK isn't a great deal. So you want to concentrate on the areas where you can actually have the biggest impact. And obviously at the moment, the biggest impact would be construction blocks, not really. So crystalline carbonite, no, that's down. So at the moment, a lot of the prices for the Hulk, cost-wise, off the market are actually down, so it's quite interesting to see that the cost still isn't necessarily profitable, and that you'd have to go full on build in order to be able to try and make a profit from it. However, it doesn't necessarily surprise me, because a lot of people in the game like to build ships, roleplay, I don't know what it is or whatever floats their boat, but they like to build the end product, which is a ship. And if you are a miner and you're mining stuff, then, well, if you class yourself as an industrialist, then the Hulk is probably end line building to fulfill your roleplay fantasies. Not sure if that's quite the right way of putting it, but nevertheless. So I think with that we'll wrap up there. Again, get your Plex, buy your Plex if you're after it. It's a good time to be stocking up on buying Plex. If you are wanting to actually physically buy Plex with cash, then now is a good time to do it. It's 25% off, and the skins for the MCTs and the Omega, if you are thinking about buying an Omega in the next week or two, then it might be worth just buying it in advance to get hold of the skin. And if you don't want the skin, you can always sell it on the market, and that henceforth gives you a slight discount to your Plex price, so don't miss out. We will get some more deals, I imagine, at Christmas, so if you do miss out, it's not the end of the world. They will come around, so do keep your eyes open or your wallets ready for that. And with that, thanks for your time, thanks for listening, and in the time that we have been recording, I have acquired my Plex, which was nice and fast, so happy days. So fly safe, I'll talk to you again soon.